Welcome back to Where Do We Go From Here? I'm your host, Kim Kotis, and joining me now is Mike McGowan from the United States Air Force. And Mike's been a veteran and career military. And Mike, I know welcome to the show, first of all.
Thank you.
I know you've served quite a lot of capacities here with the veterans in Muskegon County. But tell me a little bit about your background, where you're from, and what brings you here today.
Well, wasn't born in Muskegon. I was born in Washington, North Carolina, and my mother met a Navy person in Norfolk, Virginia, and moved here when I was about 2.5, and I've been here ever since.
So you're a pretty much lifelong Muskegon resident.
Pretty much, yes. Yeah.
So you go to which high school did you go to?
I went to Oak Ridge. I was the first graduating class of Oak Ridge High School.
Okay.
In 1967.
Now, when you were at Oak Ridge, did they have ROTC, or did you kind of get involved in the military
No,
early?
they didn't have anything like that back then.
Because it was just still the first year at Oak Ridge.
Right.
So, what kind of work did you do before you got into the military, or how soon did you get into enlist in the Air Force?
Well, I enlisted in 1968, a little over a year after I graduated. Played sports when I was in high school. Played football, baseball, ran track.
Good.
And stuff. And also played in the band.
So what do you play, Mike?
I played saxophone.
All right, good.
And so
what made you choose the Air Force as a career, or choose to enlist?
Well, Vietnam was going on at the time, and you get a notice in the mail saying you got to go to Detroit for a physical. So I got that in November of '67. So I seen the handwriting on the wall. So I went to Detroit and did the physical and got back. And at the time I was working at Hackley Hospital. So about in the middle of December, just before Christmas, I get a call from the Air Force recruiter here in Muskegon, and he wanted to sit there and talk to me. He said, come down here a certain day, and I want to talk to you about enlisting in the Air Force. So I did, and signed the papers, and it wasn't 3 weeks after I signed the papers to join the Air Force, I got my draft notice in the mail.
So in effect, did that nullify your draft notice because you had chose to enlist?
That's right. So I didn't have to didn't go in the Army, so I was in the Air Force already.
So where did you do your training or boot camp?
I went to Lackland Air Force Base in Texas.
And how long were you there?
I did basic training for 6 weeks. Then after that, I went to Wichita Falls, Texas for tech school, which is 15 weeks of tech school for 130 training.
And so is that a path you chose? Could you tell us a little about your?
Yeah, that's when the Air Force recruiter called me to join the Air Force. That's what I went in for, as mechanic. And so when I went to tech school, that's what I trained on is C-130 aircraft mechanic.
So where did you station then?
Well, after I got out of tech school, my first duty station was at Seward Air Force Base in Tennessee. And what we did there is we had a bunch of 130s, and we trained 130 pilots there.
It's a C-130. It's
right.
A big cargo plane, right?
Right. That's it.
And did you focus on those quite a bit?
Yeah, my first 4 years of active training was on 130s. That's what I did.
Those played a real crucial role in the war, didn't they?
Oh yeah, we hauled a lot of stuff everywhere, not just cargo and stuff, and weapons or munitions and stuff. We also hauled troops to jumped out, and supplies and so on and so forth. And also passengers to take them different places.
And then did they station you later in relation to the war or in other places overseas?
Yeah. As I spent some time in Alaska, I've been to Japan.
So you didn't go like right to Vietnam to a base. You served in different
areas,
different bases.
Yeah.
And what was that like working within the technical side, working with people maybe from other parts of the country? And did you find your role challenging? Did you find it taught you a lot?
Yes, it did. It really did. Yeah, taught you how to get along with other people in other countries, Uh, I was also up in Greenland. We had 2 die sites up there that we supplied year round. I was in Alaska, and Danes ran that base up there, so we got to know them pretty well. And
So how did it feel being away from home for quite a stretch?
lonely.
Lonely.
You get lonely, especially around the holidays and Christmas and stuff like that. You know, you really get lonely.
And
You know,
besides, people forget that it gets cold in Alaska and Greenland.
Oh yeah, it gets cold. Yes, no doubt about that.
But they pretty much make it workable for you guys in terms of they give you equipment to keep
Oh
you
yeah, to keep warm.
keep warm. Yeah.
Yeah, the coldest winter that I spent in Alaska was 35 below zero with a wind chill factor 65 below.
Yikes.
And believe it or not, there's an Army base up there. It was on the backside of Elmendorf Air Force Base, and the Army decided he wanted a parachute for 3 days in that cold weather. So we had and I got up at different times during the night to get my airplane ready to sit there and fly for these people to sit there and jump out.
Now, in a role like that, do you also work strange hours? You know, in terms of not just a eight to 6 regimen, but you might work in the middle of the night or early in the morning,
yeah.
that type of thing.
That, like I said, when the Army decided he wanted to sit there and jump out, one night I had to go in at midnight to get my airplane ready for a 2 o'clock takeoff. You're always crew chief always goes in 2 hours prior for takeoff and to get the airplane ready. Then on one Thursday they have an engineer that comes out, and what he does, he walks around the airplane and makes sure it's all ready to go before the pilot and the co-pilot comes out and the navigator.
So how long did you serve in that particular role? Did you move on to other challenges or other positions in the Air
Yeah,
Force?
when I got out in 72 and 75, I joined the Army Guard here in Muskegon when it was here. And I was in that for engineering company here. And I was in that for 4 years, and I transferred down to Battle Creek in July of 79. And I retired in Battle Creek in 1995.
So
in the Air Force.
so let me bring up to more current stuff. When did you meet your beautiful wife?
I met her 8 years ago
Okay.
at the VFW.
How about that?
Yeah.
And it was just the right thing, huh?
Yep, I thought so.
That's good. That's good to hear. Well, you never know. Sometimes things take a while to happen. But